Hi, dear friends. We received a question about choice and ambivalence. How to know if we're doing the right choice and how to rest with the sense of ambivalence when we don't know yet if it's the right choice or not. So I will read the question from this friend and I will share my experience. And I thought instead of sharing just to this person or to this group, it would be great to share to a larger audience and be able to benefit more people. I find it sometimes difficult to choose, he said, or resting in the field between options and directions. Going to the mind and check which choice is correct is often futile. It brings only doubt and ambivalence. All choices have their pros and cons and different values. So just resting and see what direction spontaneously appears seems like the best solution. But sometimes I find it difficult to see the clarity in this, getting lost in the mind, ideas and suggestions, trying to project what will be of best outcome in the future, which of course is impossible. Now seeing this, there is a fear of making the wrong choice, which will bring suffering instead of happiness. This dilemma brings up the feeling of ambivalence, so the issue is probably just fear. How to rest with fear, or the uncertainty of life, and what will come. Now taking the smallest step in the most honest and truthful direction seems like the doorway. Accept not knowing and lean towards truth. Like now, just deciding writing about it in this thread brings some more clarity. What are your experiences with this? So this person asked in our WhatsApp group, Mastery of Love, which is a community building for clarity, empowerment. And the people who feel moved, they answer. And I feel like answering that it's true in my experience that it's often futile to try to stay too much in the mind when analyzing what will be the best outcome. However, I feel that intuition is not built only from a supernatural power, but also from mental concepts and experiences, as well as a gut feeling, as well as instincts, and all that we have been gathering in our life of experience can be part of an intuitive process. We cannot let go of the mind wanderings and comparisons to then only have an intuitive answer. So in my experience, analyzing the pros and cons is often very useful as long as we put our mind at the service of the heart. And we are learning how to rest in our hearts, knowing that we are safe in our hearts, in a place that I don't call the physical heart, but the heart of hearts, our true essence. And from feeling that level of safety, of indestructibility of your being as awareness, then to explore the pros and cons feels easier. Because if life takes this turn or that turn, we know that we are not going to be destroyed ultimately, because we are that awareness that is even posing the question. We are that indestructible presence. There is alert, and that is the basis of every single fear and every single question. Every trouble and pros and cons and fear that we have ever experienced has never hindered awareness. The awareness of that sense of me, that sense, naked sense of me, naked sense of you. So that's my first experience that I like to share, is that by resting as awareness, as stable awareness, then I'm resting in the heart also, automatically. I'm resting in the essence of my being. And then by knowing myself as stable and indestructible as I am going through the questioning, I can more easily keep a balanced view and not collapse into the fears and the ideas and the identifications and the attachments to the outcome. So you said it brings only doubt and ambivalence to be analyzing in the mind. That is also not true in my experience, because there has been many situations where I have analyzed the pros and cons, and I even shared with friends and wrote it down, and it became much more clear. So for example, when we ask ourselves the question, what will be the path that will more greatly benefit us, our needs as a human, and benefit the whole? Am I stepping over someone to choose this path or that path? I think to make such clever analysis where we're directing the question to a very specific answer, that can be very useful. I even recorded a meditation a few weeks ago exactly sharing this point of resting with each outcome, visualizing how it will turn out in the future, and posing ourselves such questions. So for those of you who wants to receive this meditation, I can share with you in the WhatsApp group Mastery of Love. I will place the link together with the video for those of you who want to be part of this community. And you said just rest and see what direction appears seems like the best solution. Sometimes that has been true in my experience, but sometimes not. So sometimes I had to sit and analyze more carefully the pros and cons of the situation and create a larger picture. Trying to project what will be the best outcome in the future, which of course is impossible. I agree. We cannot really know what exactly will happen in the future, but we can know what is the tendency for what will happen. So for example, if I ignore brushing my teeth every day and just start growing a lot of caries, that wouldn't be a very nice outcome. We can predict that a person who's brushing their teeth every day very thoroughly are going to have better teeth in the future, especially if they are using some kind of natural product that is really compatible with the pH of the mouth and all of that. And it's the same true with my life in every way. So if I eat very healthy, I can predict that my future will probably be healthier. If I am gonna buy a land like I did in Brazil with Philip, where we have like natural water and we have a lot of food growing already spontaneously, we can already predict that if there is a world crisis, we're gonna survive more easily if we are in that land. So it's not very hard to see that there is a large difference, but we also don't know what will happen. Maybe a problem would occur in that land, or maybe a problem would occur elsewhere that we haven't thought about it before. And that's where resting with the understanding that impermanence is guaranteed in our experience moment by moment, that is very valuable for me. To be sure of just one thing, that everything changes, but awareness doesn't. That is just so liberating, because we see that we go about making our plans and okay, we choose this way and we give our best for that way that we chose to happen in the most empowered way possible, and then something happens and we need to deal with a big challenge. Are we gonna stay like troubling ourselves? Oh, did I choose the right way just because a challenge happened? No, challenge happens everywhere, with everyone. They are here to support us and be even more empowered. So I would suggest just to accept that the law of impermanence is here to teach us to not attach so much just to have a healthy attachment to our things, enough so that we take care of them. We take care of things, we take care of people, we take care of places, but not an attachment to the level where we think we depend on that for our happiness. So that would be my loving suggestion for every person who's going through this, to analyze how attached they are. Can they accept that the law of impermanence is just a natural law, that everything will change, and if we just expect that things will change instead of expecting that, oh, I hope the situation never changes and I feel safe, I think it's a better expectation that all will always change. And fear of making the wrong choice. So I would recommend also for any person suffering with that to just rest again and again with the fear that comes up. Instead of feeding a story, just let it completely dissolve, like a bird flying in the sky, leaving absolutely no trace. If you don't feed that fear, what will happen? It will just disappear. It's a bird that flies and you don't try to chase it. And you remain as the sky of your stable awareness. Isn't that amazing? So every path that we took, even if it was a so-called mistake, we can empower ourselves right there. We don't need to whip ourselves for having taken the so-called wrong path. Wherever we are, there we are. There we have creative awareness, ready to make an amazing choice right now. And the first choice is about the choice of not complaining inside, not fearing the fear, and to just continue moving on to solutions, to proactivity. What can I do of this moment that will mostly take care of my needs and the needs of others and the needs of nature? That would be my question. So, how to rest with the fear and the uncertainty of life? Taking the smallest step in the most honest and truthful direction seems like the doorway. I agree, that's an amazing doorway, along with all the other things that I shared. So I support everyone who has questions in our group to ask in the group, and everybody who answers in our group to answer from their personal experience, without patronizing anyone, without trying to make a dogma or trying to point the finger on someone, or trying to tell the other person how they should behave, because in that way we're creating a very safe community in our WhatsApp group and in our face-to-face meetings, where people are deeply honoring the experience of others and sharing a lot of wisdom from our own experience. So if you're not there at the group yet, you're very welcome to pop in, check the link together with the video, and you're very warmly welcome. A big hug to you, and we talk. Bye!